Hey guys, Mike here, and today I'm doing a review on the Xbox One. This is a review to see if Xbox One is the right console for you this holiday season. So you're looking for a video game console this holiday season, trying to buy it as a gift, trying to buy one yourself? Well, nowadays, with all these consoles and PCs on the market, it's kinda hard to see which one you should buy. There's no clear winner in most things, except for graphics or gameplay. There's really not much to judge them on. There are those who want to go based on looks, and those who want to go based on exclusive game content. Well, in this review, I will try and sort through the muck and try and lead you to see if you want to buy the Xbox One this year. Okay guys, so here it is, the Xbox One. Now, I got mine, I think it was in late August, and I got it for $400 around because I got it without the Kinect, and I also got a game with it. Now, this was before the recent price drop. They brought it down $50. As you can see, the console, in my opinion, it's beautiful. I just love the design of it. I think it's really nice. But everybody else has a problem with it. Everybody says that it looks like a VCR. Like, that's a bad thing. I know that it looks like a VCR. I don't care that it looks like a VCR, because I know that it's not a VCR. Now, I decided to cut this part out about me talking about the physical aspects of the console, because really, there's nothing too interesting here, other than the HDMI in and the USB 3.0, which I will talk about later. So, for that reason, I'm cutting this whole part out. Overall, I've had this Xbox for over 4 months, and when I first got it, at first, there was no games out, and it was kind of sad because I was playing only Netflix. But now, the game library has gotten so much better so fast. We have things like Sunset Overdrive, which is a great game. Forza 5, which was the first game that I got, that game is great. I've gotten a lot of playing out of it. And then there are games like Titanfall, which are like fun for like a minute. And yeah, I'm definitely glad that I bought an Xbox. Xbox Live. I think if you've never heard of Xbox Live is just how you can connect with other people, literally all over the world. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have an Xbox and a microphone like this, which actually comes with the console. You can talk to people who also have Xbox Live, and this has made the Xbox experience very unique, because other consoles, not going to mention any, they've copied the ways of the Xbox Live, because Xbox Live did it right. You can play any game with anybody as long as it has Xbox Live capabilities. So multiplayer online with things such as GTA 5, of course Call of Duty. Titanfall is literally a online only game, and it's just if you don't have Xbox Live and you have a Xbox, you're really not going to get full potential out of it. Pros about getting an Xbox, other than a PlayStation 4 or a Wii U, we have Kinect. But Kinect is one of those things that nowadays it's just dead. Nobody really uses Kinect because of the limited capabilities that it has nowadays. Barely any games use it other than Dance Central and Zumba, and unless you're like 8, you're really not going to be playing those kind of games. But we have Kinect voice controls, which are very, very good. I don't personally have a Kinect, but my friend has a Kinect, and I use it at his house, and it's definitely something that's unique. Would it make me buy the Kinect? I don't think so, because it's $100. Now, I'll get to that later. Another thing that's good about buying the Xbox, you get exclusive games such as Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive was definitely one of my favorite games. We also have games like Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Halo 5 is coming out next year. But if you've never played Halo or if you've never heard of Sunset Overdrive, that's not really going to push you towards buying an Xbox. However, if I were to tell you that Xbox has better exclusives than PlayStation 4, I can't really back that up because I've never played any of the um, PlayStation 4 exclusives. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that Xbox is so much better. I'm going to tell you that in my personal experience, Xbox has great games. So overall, what drove me to buy an Xbox? Well, the main thing was my Xbox 360 that I had before that. I had it for about 4 or 5 years. It died on me, and yeah, it was a very sad moment. But luckily, at the time, I had the money to buy a new Xbox One, and I've never regretted it because I've gotten my use out of my Xbox. I use it every day for multiple hours, and I'm very, very pleased with this. Now, let's talk about the controller on the Xbox One. The Xbox One controller is a beautiful controller, and it's very similar to that of the 360, with key differences such as this shiny part up here with the new home button. It's not the guide button, it's called the home button. Now, if you're new to gaming and you're just coming into the gaming scene and you've never seen anything about the 360, you wouldn't know that before on the 360, I don't have a controller to show you this, but it had a guide button, which is in the same exact place over here, maybe a little lower down. But the guide button was, in my opinion, one of the best features about the Xbox 360. And it's one of those things that you don't know what you had until it's gone. Now, by adding this home button, what Xbox tried doing, or what they did, was no matter what you're doing, you can press this button and it'll take you to the home page. So, and it won't cancel your game, you won't lose any of your progress. It'll pause the game and you'll go back to the home screen. Unless you're in a multiplayer game, you wouldn't really want to do that, like Call of Duty. If you press the home button, yes, it will take you to the home page, and it will pause the game, but you'll still be playing, and you can still jump back into it. But yeah, the guide button was amazing, and now that we have this home button, I don't really know how I feel about the home button right now. If you haven't seen my previous video about Xbox One Snap, well then I suggest you go look at it. However, just know that that video is now outdated because they did do a new update towards Xbox One Snap. Now, if you don't know what Snap is a feature where if you double tap the home button while playing a game or watching a movie, it'll pop up with a little tab and it'll look kind of like this, the D-pad, and it'll show go back to game, unsnap, or snap a new app. Now you can snap a new app. You can snap, if you're playing a game, you can snap Netflix, Twitch, YouTube, Vine, all those kind of things. Or you could even snap Internet Explorer and you can look up a game fact or whatever. And that feature used to be trash. I'm telling you, that feature was terrible before. But now, with this new update, I love Snap. I'm going to say I love Snap now. The main reason why I'm so fond of Snap now is because if you have the Kinect and you're playing a game and you say, Xbox, record that, it will record the last 30 seconds of gameplay. Now, that's one of the revolutionary things about Kinect. But now, with the new update of Snap, all you have to do is double tap the home button and then press X, and it'll record the last 30 seconds of gameplay. There's no hassle to it. There's no having to be verbal about it. That's awesome. I love that. And I've used it many, many times, and I've caught in some very good gameplay. Something about the controller that is better than the 360 is that you can use a regular micro USB controller or micro USB port to charge your controller, but you would need to buy rechargeable batteries. Now, if you don't have batteries in your controller and you just take them plain out and you plug it in, you can use it as a wired controller by plugging it into the console. But it gets kind of glitchy after a while, and you can't just leave it in there, and you can't expect it to work for very long because you'll encounter problems. And I can say that through personal experience, which is kind of stupid. But, you know, that feature's there, I guess you can say. But PlayStation already has that, and you don't have to buy an external battery to actually charge your controller. I think the fact that we are still using AA batteries is pretty primitive, and it wastes a lot of money. And it's pretty much bad for the environment as well, because you're going to be ending up throwing out all those batteries. But it's one of those things where it's more interchangeable. Now me, I have a Nyko charge base. I did a video on that, and you can just plop down the controller on a charge port and it'll charge your controller. Now that's awesome, and I like that. But that's $30 extra. So, yeah, you just gotta think about that. Another thing about the controller is the bottom port. Now this thing right here it looks like if a USB and HDMI had a baby, because it's just this weird looking port, and you have to have these two prongs here. I don't know what the hell that's for, but that's how you plug in this part, which connects to the microphone. This is where you would plug it in like this and just clip it in. Now that's cool and all, and it works great. The sound from the actual game comes into the controller, but you can only utilize that if you buy an external plug, an external adapter. So yeah, this thing here, you can, with the mic, you can control, you can mute your sound so people don't hear you, or you can raise the volume up and down of the people talking. And one thing that I really don't understand about this is how the hell are you supposed to take this out? You gotta literally grab it and then pull. Oh shit. But it's so violent and brutal, and if you grab it by the wire, you'll ruin the cable. And I know that firsthand. Stupid Microsoft, what the hell? Also, something that's changed since the 360 are these two buttons up here. Now on the 360 we had back and select, and those are very simple, easy to understand buttons. But now we got these two fucking buttons. What are they? This is the menu button, and this is that button. I've never used this button. I don't know what the hell that's for. It's pretty much, when you're in an actual game, it serves the same function as the start and back, or the select and back button, because there's no reason that they should have changed that. The menu button, it's the select button. This button is the back button in most games, but when you're on the menu, or the main home page, you get something else. And it's just weird. I don't know. An improvement since the 360 controller, however, are these triggers. Now they use magnetic sensors, so you can actually put a little bit of pressure and it'll actually pick that up instead of having to put it fully down all the time. Which means that for first-person shooters or whatever, you don't have to press the trigger all the way down. And these bumpers, they went with an interesting design here. Now, if you notice, on the 360, the entire bumper could have been pressed. Not on this one. Only on the outsides of the controller can you actually press the bumper. If you go all the way up here, nope, nothing. Because it's a hinged design, which is meant to go down like that. You know why? Because they expect people to play like this. And it's supposed to be a little bit less of a hassle. But nobody plays like that. That's just not how it works. And it's stupid. But you learn to deal with it. You learn to get around it. And after a while, it becomes no problem at all. I'm just letting you know that. Because if you're coming from the 360 and you're coming to this, it's gonna be a little bit of a thing to get used to. However, once you do get used to it, it's no problem at all. So, do I recommend the Xbox One? At this moment, yes, I do. And I'll explain to you why. When I say at this moment, I'm saying that the price is down. The game prices they're not going up. But if you're looking for a bargain, you will not find a bargain here. This is a console that you have to be dedicated to if you really want to buy stuff for it. You need to have the budget for it, because this is $350 for what you see here, plus the necessary cables. Then, if you want to buy a game, that's about $50, upwards of maybe even $60. And you need a few games for to actually enjoy yourself for more than a few minutes, especially if you're trying to go get Titanfall. I'm not going to go into a rant about Titanfall, but don't get Titanfall. Titanfall is trash. Now, games. Forza 5. I love this game. If you're a racer, you will love this game too. You can get this one for at GameStop for about $35, $40. I highly recommend it. It's a great game. Sunset Overdrive, one of the best games out there. One of the best games on the console. You'll get a very long amount of playtime from this game, and the story is awesome. But all of that aside, it's expensive. It's very expensive. Now, what I was saying about the microphone, you get this microphone with the console. It's great, it works, but it has this stupid ass connector. But you can go out there and buy Turtle Beaches, which will play the game audio and the chat sound through the controller. And there are wireless ones, there are wired ones, which will come with the 10-foot cable that you plug into the TV and stuff. That's all fine and dandy, but they cost upwards of $100. Now, you can buy a audio adapter that plugs into the bottom. It looks exactly the same as this with just a few more buttons, and that's $20, and it comes with a 3.5mm jack at the bottom of here, which you can use to plug in your headphones or something. Like I can plug in my Beats or whatever, and I can use that, I guess. But just the fact that you have to keep buying other stuff for this thing to work how you want it to, and how the 360 already worked, is just downright absurd. Now, let's get into the actual features of the console that you may want to learn more about. So one of the key features of the Xbox One is its new, quite unique idea of having an HDMI in, which is something that you can plug any HDMI input into the back of this console, and it will play through the TV app. Now, what I use is the Google Chromecast. Now, this thing cost me, it cost me nothing because I got it with my phone for free, and it usually costs $35, and what it is it's just a wireless connection between this and any of your devices. And what I really use it for is I can plug it in, and then I can watch a video on my phone. I can put on YouTube, I can put on Netflix, and I can really just control it like that. But on the Xbox One, it has a YouTube app, it has a Netflix app, and the only real purpose for it is if you want to like watch a video on anywhere else on the internet. Any kind of video really that you can watch on Google Chrome, you can play through the Chromecast and onto your Xbox. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing revolutionary about plugging this into the back of your console. There's very limited use of that. But what Microsoft wants you to do is to plug in the HDMI cable from your cable box. Now, me personally, I have no room for a cable box as well as my Xbox. And I don't even have a cable box anymore because on my 360, they had the Time Warner Cable app, which I was able to watch my TV through. But now, because they expect you to have a cable box and plug it into the back of here, they got rid of the Time Warner Cable app. So, if I want to watch TV, not only do I have to buy a new cable box, but I have to pay for that monthly subscription through the cable box and plug it into here. And just, why, Microsoft? Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of my Time Warner Cable app for this shit? I don't use this extra HDMI port. I don't know very many people that do. All of my friends that have an Xbox One, not one of them plugs their cable box into the back of their Xbox One. Because it's not a function that we want, really. They added a new feature in the latest update, where if you plug in your cable box to the back of the console, and say your mom or your somebody in your house wants to watch TV, instead of having to unplug it from your console and plug it directly into the TV so it becomes more like a natural cable box experience, what they can do is they can turn on the Xbox and it'll instantly open up the TV app, which means that it'll start up on the TV. And you can use the controller or the external, the optional TV remote, a universal remote that you can buy for $25, $30, just like everything else. But that's just one of those things that shows that they need to keep improving on this experience for TV because nobody wants to use that feature. I'm not saying that it's bad, and I'm definitely 100% not saying that you shouldn't buy this because the TV app sucks. The TV app is not 100% terrible. The TV app is just something that me nor my friends would ever use. Just because. Now, this feature over here, the USB 3.0, is definitely something that's very good about the Xbox One. Now, the reason that it's very good is because it has the Xbox One comes with a 500 gigabyte hard drive. Now, that may sound like a lot, because 500 gigabytes certainly is a lot in any other case. But when you're buying a game and you have to install it, and that's upwards of 35 gigabytes, that's 35 gigabytes for every game that you buy. That's going to go quick. But what you can do is, if you reach the cap in your hard drive, you can buy an external hard drive that has a USB 3.0 and plug it into here, and get very fast read and write speeds, which means that you can put your games on that hard drive and play it as if it was on the actual hard drive in the console. And it just adds a whole nother world of expansion to the console. So if you're worried about, oh, it only has a 500 gigabyte hard drive that you can't exchange, but you can put in a 500 gigabyte external hard drive, and then you have a terabyte right there, instead of having to go out and buy a whole terabyte hard drive and then put it in, and then completely toss the 500 gigabyte hard drive. In my opinion, that's great, and I'm very happy that they actually included that. And overall, that's just a great feature to have, especially for future expansion when 3 years down the road you have games that are coming out with 100 gigabyte downloads, and you're gonna have to buy an external hard drive. Or on the PlayStation 4, if that were your case, you would have to buy a new hard drive and then plug it in, and then you would have to format everything all over again and put it on that new hard drive, or you would have to exchange hard drives. While on the Xbox, you can just plug it in and forget about it. Much, much simpler. Points to the Xbox. Points to the Xbox. Overall, if I were to have to give this Xbox a rating, it would definitely, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a high 9, meaning 9.5, because it's one of those things where me personally, I love it. And I know that if you're new to the video game scene, you will be able to use this. It's not hard to learn how to use. The interface of the actual console, which I won't get into because it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's simple. It's easy to use, easy to navigate, user-friendly, and overall just a great design. The physical design of the console, I love it. I think it's beautiful. But if you're saying it's too big, it's too bulky, it looks like a VCR, it doesn't affect the quality of the actual console. Just because it's big and it takes up a little bit more space than the PlayStation 4, it does not affect me, because I'm not the person who takes my console with me everywhere that I go.
Okay guys, thanks for bearing with me in this long, in-depth review, but let's recap so we can tie up any loose ends. Overall pros of this console include the amazing Xbox Live services that you can get. Great response time on Microsoft's part with updates, meaning that they actually will listen to your thoughts as a consumer. The controller has many good features aside from the awful port on the bottom of it. Good games for all types of people are of the biggest standout features for the Xbox. Another one is the USB 3.0 port, which allows you to plug in an external hard drive, which is essentially future-proofs you against the inevitable 100 gigabyte downloads. Two things that I am on the fence about is the TV app, which does what it has to do well enough, and the Blu-ray functionality of the Xbox One. Click here for a link to my rant video on the Xbox One and Blu-ray. In conclusion, my overall peeve with the Xbox One is the fact that everything is extra. You need an extra adapter for using extra headphones, and so on. Extra stuff means more money spent towards things other than games. On a console that is supposed to do it all, it does it very well, but at a cost higher than other consoles. Are these features going to push you towards getting an Xbox One this year, especially with all these bundles out now at a cheaper price? Let me know in the comments.
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to subscribe and like, leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. See ya.